Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a home bargains in Minecraft for all of your city building needs. In this tutorial, not only will I show you how to make the entire outside of the build, but I will also show you how to make the entire inside as well. Fun fact, I'm hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. Leave a comment down below letting me know if, where and when you found me. The first person to leave a comment getting it right will have their comment pinned. This is the amount of space required to make the build, a 30 block wide by 41 block long area as represented by this very handy grid on the screen. To find the starting position, simply begin at the front left hand corner of the build, count backwards and find the 7th block. That is where we will start. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin the build by placing 10 terracotta in a row on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Place 2 black stained glass pane, 1, 2, then a polished tough wall, black stained glass pane, leave a gap of 2, black stained glass pane, polished tough wall, 2 glass pane, and then 10 terracotta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We then want to extend towards the back of the build by 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Place 2 spruce doors, 1, 2, 5 terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, extend back 1, and then place 6 stone bricks to the right, or rather stone brick stairs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, place a terracotta to the right, extend forwards 1, right 1, and then we want to extend all the way across the back of the build, and the goal is to line up with where we first started. We also want to remove this block and this block, so just leave a gap of 2 from the end here, and we want to have a double door in this position. We are then able to extend our terracotta all the way to the front of the build, and this is what we should have. Next, we are going to remove all of the grass from inside of the build. Next, we are going to add one entire row of smooth stone across the back of the build. We are then going to add 6 rows of smooth stone extending from this left side towards the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We will then place 3 additional rows, 1, 2, 3, extending along the inside. We will then fill the rest of these rows in using cyan terracotta, extending across to the right side of the build. I will also just remove in front of these stone brick stairs as well and replace these with cyan terracotta. And then the rest of the inside of the build can just be filled in with smooth stone. It gets a little bit more nuanced than this later on, but we can deal with that later. I think it's also worth mentioning that I am replacing underneath where the doors were, and I will also replace underneath the windows and walls, and I will replace any blocks that got destroyed in the process. And you know what, guys? Whilst we're at it, let's just remove all of the remaining grass and grid from in front of the build. And we can replace all of this with smooth stone. Next, we are going to place 2 additional rows of terracotta along the front walls. And we also want to extend the wall and pane blocks up by 2 as well. We then want to add 5 rows of white concrete across the top of all of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we can just spread this across. So this wants to extend across the top of the gap in between the 2 bits of wall as well. Next, we are going to place polished tuff wall to the left of these 2 rows of glass. We will then place 2 rows of black stained glass pane in front of the wall, and then another row of wall in front, 2 rows of glass extending to the right, and then polished tuff wall to the right of that. Add a layer of glass, leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and then we want to add a layer of glass, and then a layer of wall, and then 2 layers of glass, and then a layer of wall. Against the terracotta, I will place the wall preemptively, and then we can just add the glass in here like this. I will then add a layer of white concrete across the top of the glass and the wall, and then we will extend the white concrete up and onto the top of the building. So it's just 1 row higher than the actual top of the build. And I think that we will actually leave the top of this open. So I guess that we'll just add some black stained glass to the top of this area instead of white concrete, which is what I was going to place to complete that sentence. Next, we are going to make the sign. We basically want to find the 4 middle rows of this area. So we'll have a row of 4 light blue concrete over here on the left. We'll extend to the right by 2. 1, 2. We will extend these 2 middle blocks to the right by 1. And then we will place red concrete extending all the way across to the right from our light blue concrete. So we just want to have something that should look like this. Next, we are going to make some banners. Throw down a loom, open it up, grab a light blue banner with some red dye. The first word we have to make is home. So H is pale Dexter, pale Sinister, and Fess. Next is O. This is pale Dexter, pale Sinister, Chief, and Base. Next is M, which is a bit trickier. We start off with the inverted chevron. Grab light blue dye, apply the Chief indented pattern, red dye back in, pale Dexter, pale Sinister. Next is E. This is Chief, Fess, Base, and then the pale Dexter pattern. Next, we are going to write out the word bargains. However, we are going to do this on red banners with white letters. I did also do a version where I used blue letters on red banners, and it actually looks really good. It might be my preference, but this is how it's meant to be done. So, B is Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, Chief, Fess, and Base. Next is A. This is Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, Chief, and Fess. Next is R. This is Pale Dexter, Chief, and Bend. Next is G. This is Pale Sinister. Red dye in there. Per Fess. White dye back in. Base. Pale Dexter. Chief. Then we need I. This is the Pale pattern. Next, and we need N. So this is Pale Dexter. Pale Sinister. Bend. And then we simply need S. This is Chief, Base, and Bend. And our inventory is an insane mess. This is a bit better. So, we will place H here, O, M, E. There should be a gap, but we're not leaving one. B, A, R, G, A, I, N, S. And okay, the white letters do look really nice as well. Maybe blue wouldn't have been better, but either way, it is a choice. Next, we are going to come over to the right side of the build here. We will leave a gap of 1 from this wall and place 1, 2 glass. We will then place a smooth quartz stair here, and then 2 smooth quartz slab here, stair here, 2 glass extending down to the ground, and we will extend each one of these blocks forwards by 2 rows. And then we are just going to seal up the top a little bit with some glass block. And this is where we keep trolleys. This is basically just a cauldron with an open fence gate attached to it. I'm using oak, but you can use any. And I also just want to put a painting on this wall because it just not that one. It just seems right. Not that one either. Or that one. That one, I don't mind. It looks like an advertisement for something you can buy inside. That's why I kind of like this one and others like it. Anyway, we are now going to head over to the other side and do the same thing. So we'll leave a gap of 1. Glass, glass. Stair. Slab, slab. Stair. And then glass, glass extending down. And we'll extend these 2 rows forwards. And we can stick some glass just at the top here. And then just any number of cauldron. I always tend to repeat this pattern, but you can do any. And once again, do feel free to choose your own fence gate. It's just not right. They're the two that I always like. I love that painting and that painting. And just whilst we're at it, you can also do this inside the entrance as well. You can just add some... There we go. Some trolleys inside here. So I'm pretty sure that the fence gates will latch onto the wall. So you've just got to be careful not to add them, like, for instance... Yeah, see? So you just can't line the cauldrons up with the walls, but something like that's fine. I don't mind it clipping into the store a little bit. But now that we've done that, we will move all the way to the right side of the build, where, first of all, I'm just going to add 3 additional rows of stone brick stairs on top of our stone brick stairs to give us a total of 4. And then we have the task of extending our walls up to equal the height of the front walls, which means placing 2 more rows of terracotta and then 5 rows of white concrete. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I have the pattern on both sides, and I'm just extending across the top of the doorway here. I accidentally just filled this row in with white concrete, so now we're just going to start back there and pretend that that didn't happen. So all we're basically doing is extending the pattern of the front wall all the way backwards. Which means we have 3 rows of terracotta at the base and then 5 rows of white concrete on top. And that applies not only to this side of the build, but every side of the build. So I'm just going to extend across the back now. And then we can just move towards the front. And then to the back again. And then to the front. I don't even know what I'm saying. We're just filling this last side of the building the exact same way that we did the previous two sides. Next, we are going to fill the entire top of the build in using white concrete. With the entire outside of the build complete, we can now head inside and work on the interior. Step 1, we are going to make a wall. It is going to start right here. We simply want to place a row of terracotta that divides the store into two, the warehouse and the store itself. So we also want to create room for a doorway that is going to go here, and then we simply want to extend this terracotta up to equal the height of all of the other rows of terracotta that we have. And then we want to fill the upper portion of this in using white concrete. And now that we have made the wall, I am just going to focus on the warehouse first of all, just because it's a smaller area, it's just easier to deal with. So first of all, I'm just going to seal up this wall here, so I'm just going to smooth it all out using the relevant blocks, the white concrete and the terracotta. And I'm also just going to build up some andesite wall left and right of the garage door. Next, we are going to add some shelves in here. So we're actually going to start all the way over here in this direction. And we will place a scaffolding right here. And next to it, we are going to construct some shelves. So these are made by placing a row of 3 spruce trapdoors slapped on top of each other, leaving a gap of 2, and then placing an opposing set here. And with these shelves, we have 2 options. We can place the shelves so that we can place something on the bottom shelf like this, and then we can leave it like that, or we can cap it off and that's great. Or we can make another set of shelves over here to the left. And if we want, this time, we can build them in such a way that we can place stuff on the top shelf rather than the bottom shelf. Feel free to mix and match this. It legitimately doesn't matter which one you build, as long as you're happy. And we are just going to repeat this, by the way, all the way over until we just can't anymore, basically. So when we roughly get to this position, that gives us a set of 5 shelves, and I'm just going to stock these with random things. It doesn't matter too much, to be honest. That looks fine. And now that we've done that on one side of the build, we are going to do it on the opposite side of the build here. So I'm actually just going to start at the end again, just because I find it easier. I'll stick a chest here instead of a scaffold this time, and I'll just make an identical set of shelves, or nearly identical. I will chop and change them a little bit. So this looks fantastic, and if you like, you can just stack some just like random things up at the end of the warehouse here if you want. Like you can just make a little bit of a mess like this, and I think that this looks fantastic. Now that we've made the warehouse, we are going to go all the way over to pretty much the exact opposite side of the store, and we are going to start work over here. So to begin, we are going to stack 1, 2 oak trapdoors here, flipped up this way, and 1, 2 oak trapdoors here, flipped up this way. We then want to leave a gap of 1 here, and then place a polished andesite slab, and to the right of this, a pale oak sign. Behind it, a chest, then light grey concrete here, extend forwards, left 2. We then want a polished black stone stair here, black carpet here, detect rail here, black carpet here, chest here. Then we will place an end rod here, heavy weighted pressure plate here, polished black stone wall here, 1 on top, beacon here, oak shelves here, biscuits in the top set of shelves, and potions in the bottom. You can stick anything here, just sort of snack stuff I would recommend. And then we can just place some red carpet across the front, and this is a till area. And we actually want another one of these, so we're going to make it in reverse ever so slightly. We'll leave a gap of 1, and then we will place a row of red carpet that is the exact same length, like this. I did just try to make this in reverse and failed, so instead we are going to come all the way over to the end and place a polished andesite slab here, pale oak sign here, chest here, light grey concrete here, extend forwards, and then left, 1, 2. We will then place a polished black stone stair here, black carpet here, detect rail here, black carpet here, with a chest here. We will then stick an end rod here, with a heavy weighted pressure plate here. Then we will place 1, 2 polished black stone wall here, with a beacon on top, oak shelves in front, and then we will stock it with a mixture of biscuits and potions. Next, we will grab our smooth quartz block, and starting here, we will place smooth quartz, and we will extend all the way over to here. So just 1 row past this chest, we will then stick polished diorite slabs on top, and then we will stack 2 pale oak shelves here, with a light grey concrete here, detect rail here. We will then place a polished deep slate slab here, and then 2 more pale oak shelves, light grey concrete, slab, detect rail, white banners in front of the light grey concrete, And we also want to stack, or rather place, a 1x1 painting above where we have the detector rails. So like this. And now that we have this set up, we actually want to apply it onto this wall as well. So it's kind of like a mirrored version. So we'll have our row of smooth quartz slab with diorite on top. Then, starting over here on the left, we will have a polished deep slate slab, light grey concrete, and then pale oak shelves, deep slate slab, light grey concrete, set of shelves, white banners in front of the light grey concrete, detector rails on top of the light grey. We will then have 1x1 paintings above this, and then we just have to stick whatever we like in these shelves. So these are basically the sort of things that you'd see next to a till that are just last minute purchases. So that's why I just keep placing like biscuits and drinks in here. But obviously anything could go in here. It's completely up to you. And these are the regular tills and these are the self-serve tills. Well, next we aren't moving too far. We just want to leave a gap of 2 from the self-serve, 1, 2, and across this wall we will place 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 oak shelves. We will then leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and then place 4 more, 1, 2, 3, 4. We will stack these 2 rows high, and above these we will place some paintings. So I'm always partial to this. It doesn't really even matter what paintings. That was almost identical, that's crazy. Almost matched. Well, now that we have made those shelves, and I'm just going to destroy that one because it had a shelf in the shelf, we can now move all the way to the back here, and we want to place 1, 2, 3 smooth quartz block on top of each other. And then we extend this block here to the left by 2 using sea lanterns, and then place a row of smooth quartz block extending down to the ground to the left. 2 more sea lanterns here, a row of smooth quartz, 2 more sea lanterns, a row of smooth quartz, and one last time, 2 sea lanterns, and then a row of smooth quartz. We then want to extend the smooth quartz forwards, place blue concrete in front of the sea lanterns. We then want to remove the terracotta from the back of these freezers and replace with smooth quartz. Then we will replace the floor with block of iron inside of the freezers. Then we will place iron trapdoors here in the middle of the freezers. And we can just stick item frames in here, just like so. And in addition to this, we are going to place smooth quartz slab across the top of the freezers, but not the row behind. Next, we will place a row of 11 bookshelves extending left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we will stack these 2 rows high. We'll leave a gap of 1 from the end and place 1, 2, 3, 4 oak shelves in front of the bookshelves. Leave a gap of 1 and then do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here on top. Then you can either leave this as it is, or alternatively, I like the idea of kind of extending out the doorway like this. And then I'm actually going to extend the white concrete across this back wall here, 1 row forwards, like so. And above the freezer section in particular, I want to create like a rectangle. And then I want to fill the middle of the rectangle in with light blue concrete. And then the rest of the wall can just be white concrete. Or if you did want to, you could use a different colour, like above here, you could like, say like hollow this out. And you could have like a different colour back here. That might be nice to do. That might actually look cool. But anyway, I am just going to do that. And then on the front of the build, I'm actually going to do a similar thing too. So I'm just going to extend the white concrete at the front of the build just 1 row forwards like this. And it just kind of creates a bit more of an interesting shape inside the build, I find. it actually makes me wonder if we could move the sign inside. So unfortunately we don't have enough rows that we can just like move the entire sign inside, but we can have the letters in here. So A and R go in the middle, and then we can just place home this side, and then we can just add gains here, and I think that looks nice, especially as we're walking out. Next, we are going to head back over to here, and leaving a gap of 3 from these shelves, 1, 2, 3, we want to place a row of light grey concrete that is the same length as these shelves. Leave a gap of 2, and then place another row of light grey concrete. Stack these up 2 rows high, stick some smooth quartz slab on top, and then we want to add sideways facing / curved smooth quartz stair around the base of these, like so. And if you want, so item frames will be placed on these to indicate what is like in here, and it's going to be like fruit, fresh fruit and fish and vegetables, meats, that sort of stuff. But if you do want to make it a bit more colourful, you can kind of like go with the same sort of idea as we have on the walls, which is to place just a bunch of paintings, because obviously these can be construed as like just advertisements and offers and what have you, without having to put too much effort into it, and it just kind of looks nice and colourful to have. Guys, that's the exact same set of paintings, just rearranged in a different order. That's crazy. Next, we are going to bounce all the way over to here, where we will place a 2x2 square of bookshelves, and to the left of this, 1, 2, 3, 4 oak shelves, and we will stack another layer on top. Leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, stack another layer, gap of 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, stack another layer on top. Then we are going to connect the corner down to the ground using terracotta. And then above all of these shelves we will have paintings. So once again, just whatever paintings you like, really. And stashed in this corner, we can just have like a chest and a scaffolding, or a couple of scaffolding and a chest, something like this. And then here we will have a 2x3 set of bookshelves. To the left, a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oak shelves, stacked 2 rows high, with of course the painting system again. Then we are going to come all the way over to this middle shelf. So this is important. So we're going to leave a gap of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here we will place a bookshelf. And then we will extend the bookshelf this way by 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like this. And then we will extend to the left, 1, 2, 3, just like so. And just whilst we're at it, we will also have another row, so leaving a gap of 2 this side, 1, 2, 3, 4 bookshelves, just like this. And we can then further extend. So behind this, we will actually place a row of bookshelves. So we'll place a row of bookshelves behind this, and then we will extend this over to the left until we have a gap of 2 between this and the red carpet. And we can then stack the bookshelves 2 rows high. And the smaller set, we can just add a set of oak shelves to, just like so. And on the larger set, we're going to add oak shelves to the outer parts, so just like this. We also want to add something to here, so like we just want to add like crafting table, a chest, scaffolding, maybe a cartography table, just stuff in this corner. And we also just want to add on top of this, so like more of the same really, so just like some of the tables just on the outer part like this, so to cover up, so to like smooth off this section, so to speak. That's what we want to do. And that's looking good. And whilst we are at it, also, we do just have to add shelves to these parts of the bookshelves too. And now, just whilst we're at it, we have a bunch of shelves in the middle to place. And to do that, it's actually really simple. So we'll start here, and we'll leave a gap of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Mark out a bookshelf. Gap of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, bookshelf. 1, 2, 3, 4, bookshelf. Just like this. And the bookshelves are 4 rows long in total, so 1, 2, 3, we can just add a row. We then leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and then we place 4 more, so 1, 2, 3, 4, just like this. And we want to do the exact same thing here as well, so we can mark all of these out, we can make them all the exact same length. We can stack them 2 rows high. We can add oak shelves to the outer parts of them. And now we can just add some light blue or red, it doesn't really matter which one you choose, carpet to the tops of the bookshelves. So just the main ones. Maybe even not these necessarily, but to all of those at the very least. Next, I'm going to add a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 smooth quartz block here with item frames in front and then pale oak signs in front of / on those blocks. Then item frames here. And now I'm just going to stack a bunch of candles on each one. And then I'm just going to put the same sort of colour potion in the item frame behind here. And I also just want to stack either like a chest here or a scaffolding or something just off to the side. Now, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we have pretty much completed the entire inside of the build. All we have to do is fill in these shelves, and you can kind of fill them in with anything. And it would be really boring if I showed all of that on video, so instead, not only have I finished filling in the shelves, I have made a couple of adjustments to the store. But first, let's talk about the shelves. I'm just going to give you a walkthrough, and I'm going to make sure that I look at every single shelf, and if at any point you would like, pause the video and feel free to copy what I have placed in my shelves. It's really difficult to know what to even put in them, to be quite honest. You may have noticed already that I kind of just go with anything. Like, if you stack them correctly, kind of like this, if you just fill like the shelves in vertically with the exact same item, and you just make sure that you use a different item for the next one, just don't like fill an entire aisle in with the same thing. I mean, you can pretty much place almost anything and it looks good. It's also nice to kind of keep a theme as well, I suppose. But again, you know, you don't have to. Ideally, what I would like to have is a different item in literally like every single space, but I think that is just not going to happen. Do also remember to fill in this freezer section as well. That's easily forgot about. And once you've filled in those item frames, seal it up with some glass. And these are just the last set now. And once I've shown you these, I've actually shown you every single set of shelves. So now let's talk about the changes. You can see that next to the shelves themselves, I've actually decided to add some cyan terracotta. This kind of highlights them, and I think it looks quite good. You can see the choice places that I have placed it. I think that looks really nice, actually. I've even done it over here as well underneath the self-serve a little bit. So that's something that you could choose to add next to these shelves. And as well, something that we will have to do is inside the warehouse, we will have to add another layer of the terracotta and the white concrete behind all of these shelves here. The reason being is earlier we added some smooth quartz to the wall, as you can see, and this wasn't here earlier, so it'd look really weird if we didn't add just an additional layer inside. And that's pretty much all I've done. You know, something that I was considering actually was adding windows in between some of these shelves. So namely on this side of the build, like here and here, and on the opposite side of the build, here, here, and you could go here as well, but I do have a bunch of stuff there. So maybe just these two, and then they are kind of parallel, so that would actually look good in my opinion. And I do also just like the idea of having just more paintings, especially larger ones, just kind of like about the place. So maybe like one there, and then maybe we can like leave a gap, and then one actually fits. I'll tell you what would look nice is like this one and this one, or something like that, with some of the 1x2s just kind of here. Now, whenever we have a warehouse build, I always like to recommend adding forklifts and lorries. So if you are a member of the channel or you just have access to my schematics, you can load in forklift 1, which looks like this, and we can move it into the warehouse. Or alternatively, if you don't have access to my schematics, I will leave a link down below in the description, and then that way you can just build it. It's actually a really fast tutorial, and it looks really good in here, honestly. Even better now that I've repaired the floor. The same thing applies to lorry 1, so, you know, if you have the schematic, then feel free to load in lorry 1, and we can stick it just anywhere, really. I think that I'm going to move it relatively close here, but we could even move it like around the back, but I think that there's pretty good. It just means that we have to add some road and pavement around it. But that ain't no bother to guys like us. Should probably also repair those 2 giant holes. And if we're keeping these windows, we will place terracotta underneath them. Same thing over this side as well. I think it would make more sense to make the truck... well, a mixture of... We'll start off with red concrete, and then we'll see if we can kind of like be a little bit cute with the light blue. Kind of like make it something like this. Maybe a little bit more red. So it kind of looks like the sign. I think that kind of looks cool. We can just apply this onto the opposite side and add a bit of blue in between. Looks kind of cool. Now, would it look ridiculous to add HB to the back of it? I don't think it does, actually. I think that looks kind of... That looks alright, I think. Home Bargains, HB. I like that, we have a Home Bargains truck. With those final details added, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add our Home Bargains into our city. I know exactly where this is going. For now, Home Bargains belongs in the new suburban suburbs. We are placing it in the storage area, as this part of the city is very much due for a rebuild, and when that happens, I want Home Bargains here. You may be interested in becoming a channel member. You can click the join button that will be somewhere on the screen right now. This does cost money and is a monthly subscription, but you do get some perks. The first of which is a download link for my city design world. This has every single build that I have placed in my city, arranged in order, and labelled. This perk also comes with schematics for the mods Lightmatica and World Edit. so you can easily reference and copy and paste these builds into your worlds in any way that you'd like. However, if you're not interested in any of that building business, the highest tier allows you to download the most current version of Mini-City. There are also some minor perks, including loyalty badges displayed next to your name whenever you comment something down below on my videos. Depending on how long you have been a channel member, you gain a more prestigious helmet, with the highly coveted gold builder's hat being the most valuable. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.